Hello MBA aspirants. Welcome to MBA Dr. CTC, that is Concept to Completion. Every MBA program requires its applicants to submit an up-to-date and persuasive resume. Admissions officers look at the resume first to assess the standing of an applicant. I'm Dr. Vinita Singh, and while I help MBA aspirants with essays, recommendations, and interviews with almost 100% success rate for the top business schools, today's podcast, titled Best MBA Resume Format, Overall Structure, and 3 Sections, is about how to craft a perfect resume for MBA applications. An MBA is a degree in business leadership. Therefore, to put it in simplistic manner, the resume needs to focus on demonstrated business leadership. Business schools are looking for applicants who have the potential to make a lasting impact in the world through business. They're looking for game changers, for trendsetters, for future business leaders. They care about whether you can take initiatives, lead a team, think critically, collaborate with others, and achieve great accomplishments of business that leave a conspicuous streak of excellence behind you. Let us see how your resume will be used by the admissions committee while they evaluate your application in terms of content and structure. Each application component is vital in its own way, but the MBA resume stands as the core of your application. The resume provides the framework through which your essays will be read, your recommendations will be evaluated, and it will form the source and the framework for the questions you will be asked in your interview. Therefore, MBA resume should focus on prioritization of accomplishments, overall positioning, and alignment with the applicant's career goals after MBA. A strong resume, just like a statement of purpose or essay, tells a story about your career path, and your future course should be predicted based on your past achievements. Before I start with the structure and 3 sections of an MBA resume, let me give you a significant tip. An MBA resume is different from your typical job application resume that gets you hired for a job in an organization for maybe 2 to 4 years or so. Therefore, job resume focuses more on skills. But an MBA resume, I repeat, an MBA resume should showcase the leadership potential and the personality traits, showing your vision for maybe next 10 to 20 years to come. Let us begin with the structure. Admissions committee will take a few seconds to make that first impression about you. Therefore, make sure your resume is under 1 page, neat, consistent, and easy to read. This can be done by taking care of formatting. Include white spaces by paying attention to correct margins on top, bottom, left, and right sides. Use accurate spacing between the lines. Similar date formats and 10 to 12 point font and traditional typeface such as Arial, Calibri, Times New Roman, to mention a few. Bold and italics should be used sparingly. It is better to be a bit more conservative unless you are from a highly creative field. Have bullet points and avoid writing long paragraphs at all costs. Talking about sections, besides the contact information, resume could have 3 sections, that is academic, professional, and personal or additional, to present a complete picture of who you are. An applicant could have a 4th section of achievements, but it is better to include the same within the respective segment, highlighting academic, professional, and personal or additional accomplishments. Let the best in your profile come first. Academic details can take the lead if successes are exponentially good, and professional experience can take the first place if academics are not too great, but work profile exhibits extremely outstanding career progression. More space should be taken by the best accomplishments. Let me talk about section 1, which is academic. The education section is straightforward. Use this section to showcase your intellectual aptitude. You could also mention if you did any research or gained any formal recognition for your academic work or extracurricular activity. Bullet points could be added for academic honors, awards, or leadership. In a special bullet point, good GMAT score can also be put. The second section is professional. Your work experience should take up roughly 2/3 of your resume, as the admissions committee wants to see how you would operate in a business setting. Within the work experience section, you can either follow a chronological sequence or career progression based on skills depending on what works best. The basic template is straightforward with attention to detail. Begin each professional entry with the company you worked for and follow it with a description of that company. The idea is to substantiate your place of business in terms of its standing, revenue, reputation, in case it is not a really known one, clarifying the scope of the business you worked for. Having said that, it does not matter if it is a small startup or a major multinational. What matters is the impact you made there. Your influence on a startup will be expected to be more substantial. Therefore, list the companies you worked for, the positions you held, and the length of time you worked there. For every job you have held, think of 3 or so top accomplishments that made a real outcome addressing action, purpose, and result. Talking about action, the first component, use action verbs for every bullet point. Some strong MBA-oriented action verbs could be led, collaborated, managed, mentored, innovated, strategized, coordinated, enhanced, organized, achieved, negotiated, and the like. Pay attention to the story you are telling in your statement of purpose or essay and choose the verbs that add to the main narrative. Utilize appropriate language for each of your job in 2 to 4 bullet points and make sure you are writing not more than a line or max 3 lines for every point. This will express your greatest strengths as a leader. More recent positions should hold more entries showcasing your increased responsibilities and influence as you progress through your career. Demonstrate growth between your career transitions. If you began as an analyst at not managing anybody, talk about your next role, where you led a team of 7 handling strategic and tactical position, presenting upward momentum. Highlight out of the turn promotions and increased responsibility. Avoid having any technical jargon, workplace abbreviations as much as possible. If you must use, explain what it means. Do not expect the admissions officer to find out what you are trying to convey. Pick the right content, keep it short and objective, and write more impactful points first. The second factor is the purpose of your action. What were you working towards? If the bullet point really shows lasting impression because of your good stuff and big clients that impacted your career journey, then you may be able to stretch it to 3 lines. Show your career growth and be sure a layman can understand your accomplishments without knowing anything about your field. Most importantly, present yourself as a business leader. And finally, the third component is the result that illustrates your impact. Quantify your impact using numbers, for example, percentage of increase in sales, an amount of growth, image enhancement of the organization, or time or money you saved your team, etc. However, be precise, specific, and quantitative. For example, led and expanded the team at Accenture by 75% in a period of 8 months through new project acquisitions. The team's strength increased from 19 to 34 during this period. Another one is led cross-functional team of 5 experts, including programmers, to extract data, test codes, and build a social impact analytics tool that quantified the impact of investments on 25,000 socio-economic features. Let me move to section 3, which is personal or additional information. Use this section to show what you're passionate about. The point is to demonstrate what you care about when you are not getting paid for it. How do you spend your free time outside the office? Volunteer experience is held in high regard by MBA admissions committees who are looking for passion and leadership. If you have given back to your community or invested in anything outside of your work and that means something to you, it will strengthen your resume. In this section, also all the above mentioned rules regarding bullet points hold true. Show leadership, show impact, use action verbs that demonstrate MBA-oriented skills. If you have a line or 2 to spare, you can informally include passions and interests that do not fall under the 3 headers above in a brief section at the bottom in a concise and casual manner if this added information separates you from others. Also keep in mind, is it something you want to be asked about in your interview? Finally, go deep into the resume. Content should be accomplishment based rather than listing the tasks and responsibilities. What impact have you made? Have you enhanced the business? Had an impact with employees? Recruiting? Training? Have you saved money? Streamlined any process? Let me close with telling you the difference between a CV and a resume. CV is a long form of your career profile that could be sometimes personal too. A resume, on the other hand, is a concise summary of your professional career. In today's podcast, I spoke about the structure and the content for 3 sections to craft a perfect resume for MBA applications. I've shared some valuable links of the rankings for 2021 and links of some of my related podcasts in the description box. Do not forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment if you think I missed out any important point or if you want me to make a podcast on a topic of your choice. May all your aspirations come true and you get an admit from your dream business school. Watch out for my next podcast. Take care and stay safe.